Good morning. I'm John Cody. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm honored to serve the congregation this morning as worship associate. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join us for coffee, the most important Unitarian ceremony after the service. Well, actually, it's more important than the service, so it's important after the service and before. Our congregation is a lively community with many opportunities to participate. There are no announcements this morning, but look in your printed bulletin for anything that arrived a little bit late. We want to thank Maria Renner for putting this service together this morning with the Boulevard Street Food Pantry. She's speaking at another UU church this morning. She forsook us for something else, and so you have me. Please watch the slides before the service and check your bulletin and e-blast for more ways to participate in the life of this congregation. During our service, there is a time for sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. Cards for sharing a specific joy or sorrow are on the table by the entrance to this room. You may pick one up on your way in, but since you're already in, if you want to share, please go back and get one of the cards and have it filled out for the joys and sorrows part of the service. Rooted in the values of Unitarian Universalism, we covenant to be a congregation where people of all generations find meaning and purpose. We work to be a congregation that embraces pluralism by honoring diverse beliefs, identities, practices, and experiences as we seek wisdom and truth together in community. We are glad that you are with us today. We hope you will find this service inspiring and meaningful. I'd like to welcome Kiara up to the pulpit to light our chalice for us this morning. She is a member of our high school youth group, and the high school youth are members of this church. And as some of us are the present, but also the past of this church, she is the present and the future, hopefully, of this church. Thank you very much. A lit chalice is a symbol of our faith as Unitarian Universalists. A flame first lit to guide refugees to safety, now passed from hand to hand in hope and defiance. As we light as our chalice was lit in the sanctuary, I invite those on Zoom to light a chalice or a candle and to type the location of your lighting in the chat. Our chalice lighting opening words today are by Reverend Tanya Marquez. It is a wonder and a mystery that our paths have crossed, that in the immensity of time, the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe of the ways in which our lives are intersect and intertwine with the beauty we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad you are here. Let us worship. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that has brought us together.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 402, From You I Receive. We'll be singing it through 3 times.
Please remain standing and join me in our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And now we will say the covenant in Spanish as well as we can. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia, y servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. You may be seated. And I'd like to welcome Ryan Robinson up for a message from our Ministerial Search Committee, doing the work of the Lord.
Ah, yes, that's what I'm here for. I'm surprised they allowed John Cody and I up together on the pulpit.
It's a blessing.
I thought we were banned from doing that because of SAS. Hi, y'all. My name is Ryan Robinson. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm delighted to chat with you today as the chair of your Ministerial Search Committee with today's Ministerial Search Moment. It's like a more you know situation. So a few updates. So members of our team are working on the congregational survey now, which we expect to open up next Sunday on October 19th. And that the survey window will run from the 19th through November 2nd. It says here the questions will be nuanced. And the survey is anonymous. Through the survey, we need to collect information to include in our informational packet for any of our prospective ministers. We need to give them a sense of who we are and what we might need going forward. So, for example, some of the questions are going to be some of the boring demographic things that you all love filling out when it comes to like surveys you have of like, how old are you? Who are you? Where do you reside? But some of them are a bit more nuanced. This is the nuanced part. And how we support our congregation, or what type of ministerial relationship you might think fits best for UUI going forward. In the meantime, related to that, we have new information at the MSC table, which is right at the entrance in the social hall. You could stop by and see us for information about those different types of ministerial relationships that exist in UU congregations. Ellen and Matt are at the table today. Next week, Dawn and I will be having a longer conversation about those different possibilities of ministerial relationships in the October 19th service. Ryan and Melissa, that's me again, will be hosting 2 Q&A sessions about those different types of ministries. One will be on Tuesday and will be available on Zoom, and the other one will be after the service here on the 26th. Focus groups have started. We actually currently have, I believe, 11 scheduled focus groups. There are 2 today. The youth would be happening during RE time, but I've heard it's been rescheduled from Susan and Carla mere moments ago. And Faith in Action occurred today before the service. We're asking slightly different questions than we asked during the listening sessions. We want to know what's working well for your group and for UUI, and we also want to know what your group might want and or need in a new minister. And finally, I have a delightful visual so that we're capturing multiple modalities of learning. So during the listening sessions, we had an initial check-in, and I know it's a little bit small on the screen, but we'll be sending all of this to you sometime today after the service, or sometime in the next day or 2. Let's not get too aggressive on the timing. These were all the words from the check-in question during the listening session. As a reminder, about 100 of you joined us for the initial listening sessions, and we asked one word you would use to describe our congregation to a friend. So you can see that there are one individual word from over 100 of you that are there. And the most repeated words, as you can see, are a little bit larger, are welcoming and friendly, followed by open and inclusive, and growing, I see, is also relatively large. Some words used only once include things like green or striving or eclectic or non-dogmatic. As I said, members and friends are going to receive a direct message from our team, including this visual, so you can have a closer look and be able to zoom in and look for the magical word you might have shared with us. Thanks, y'all.
You know, I just want to thank Ryan and the whole committee. My wife is on this committee. I don't know much about what they're doing because it's double top secret and she won't talk to me. But I know they're doing a lot of work, so thank you very much. Now let us enter into the time in the service where we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another so that they may be held in community. As the music plays, I invite people in the sanctuary to come up and drop a stone into the bowl up in front here. If you have something that is on your heart today, please use both sides. It's going to be a little hard because we have the candles up on this side for some reason, unbeknownst to me. But come on up and form a line and drop a stone. For those of you on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat feature. Please put in all caps, either joy or sorrow, plus your name and pronouns at the beginning of what you are sharing. And if you'd like me to read it aloud, please note that. You can also symbolically drop a stone into the bowl by typing drop stone or just DS in the chat. So I welcome you forward now if you have a stone to drop. So we have some joys and sorrows this morning. Let me start with a joy. Susan and Matt share that our daughter, Mary Gia, who is a daughter of this church, starts a new full-time job tomorrow. Pretty cool. Kathy says, thank you for all of your great love and support during and after my back surgery. You people are amazing, and science is good. Glad you're doing well, Kathy. And do what the doctor says. Here's another great joy for the future of our church. Shelby and Alex say they are expecting Irvin baby number 2 in March. Pretty cool. Rachel, she, her, says sadness over the epidemic of gun violence in our country, and I think we can all feel that. Matt Russell, he, him, is happy to be surrounded by a beloved community devoted to justice and democracy. And a sorrow here. Michelle, my son-in-law, Jimmy, is feeling sick from returning from the UK with my daughter, Mackenzie. Thank goodness she is well. Prayers for Jimmy. And online, Jean, she, her, our friend Scott has entered hospice care 29 months after his stage 4 cancer diagnosis. Let's hold Scott in our thoughts. And a sorrow that from Joni, she, her, my grandson's cat of 17 years passed on Wednesday night. He has never known life without her. Though they may not be shared today, we know there are many more joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts and on our minds. Let us take a few moments of prayer or meditation. And apropos of one of the sorrows, I miss my yellow cat. His purr, his snarl, his pat. Softest fur I ever felt, he'd preen and groom that yellow pelt. His claws like knives, green eyes, nose too dark, had at least 9 lives. I miss my yellow cat a lot. Blessed be, and amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. And take amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón cantaré tu compasión. Sopla of love, sume la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráyame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Go. Oh, where am I? There I am. I found me. And I found you. Hi, everybody. This is a moment where anyone of any age is welcome to come and join me up front, and often do. I'm so pleased to have Boulevard Food Pantry here today. You know, I pass them on my way to work every single day, and I see the good work that they do because I see how many people they are serving who are going in and out. So I wanted to share a story with you today because I think that sometimes we have ideas in our head about who actually needs help that are a little bit narrow. Not that they're not true, but they're maybe a little bit narrow, and we need to widen our scope. So I want to share a story with you today called Lulu and the Hunger Monster. With a grind and a clank, our old van slows to a stop. Mom can't start it. Monster waves at me from the roadside. Oop, and now we're skipping. Let's pop back. Hi, Lulu. Long time no see. When we get a ride home, Monster buckles in next to me. All Mom's money goes to fix the van. She needs it to drive to work. That means there's no money left for groceries. Mom says she doesn't think we can get help because she has a job. So we make do and make do. Ava runs up to me at school, her half of our twin necklaces dancing. She can't see Monster smirking, and I can't tell her. Monster made me promise never to say its name to anyone. Hunger Monster. Tell me one of your jokes, Ava says. All I can think about is food, food, food. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not really sure what the feedback is all about. Why do the French eat snails, I ask. Because they don't like fast food. Wah, wah. Ava laughs, and we join our friends to play tag before the bell. Soon, I have to sit. My head is spinning. My stomach is noisy. Hunger Monster is growling. In math, Monster bounces on my table so the numbers squiggle and jiggle. Mr. Abidi turns around. Lulu, please sit still. I want to tell him it's Hunger Monster's fault. Monster glares at me, so my mouth stays closed. During morning recess, Ava wants to play. My stomach is empty and achy, and I yell at her. She doesn't know why I'm being so grumpy. I go hide in the school garden. This year, Mr. Abidi is teaching us how to plant vegetables. Maybe there's something to eat in there. But the tomatoes are still green and hard. I kick at them. Temper, temper, Hunger Monster says. You know what you are? Hangry. Hungry and angry. I invented that. Hunger Monster beams. The bell rings and I leave Monster gloating in the weeds. I always get free school lunch, so Monster will hide this afternoon, sulking in the hallways, waiting for another chance. Hunger Monster bugs me the most before lunch in the morning, mornings like this one. I can't stop thinking about the cubbies out in the hallway stuffed full of everyone's snacks. Can I go to the restroom, please? In the hall, I reach for someone's lunchbox. Ants on a log, my favorite. I stare for a long time. Then I turn away. Hunger Monster won't make me a thief. Monster waddles off in a huff, and I make do. Next morning, Ava passes me a bag. I've got too much snack. Inside are grapes, yogurt, and cauliflower. I don't want to take it. My face feels hot. I only take the bag because Ava is my friend. Monster shrinks that day, and the next when Veronica has too much fruit salad, and the next when Manuel wants help with a spare tamale. By Friday, Hunger Monster's no bigger than a toy. Everyone's whispering and laughing about you, it squeaks. After that, I don't take any more snacks, not even from Ava. A few days later, Mom gives me a bag for snack time. Surprise! There's a nut butter sandwich and string cheese. I peek inside her lunch bag, plain crackers and packets of ketchup. Looks like I should spend today with your mom, Monster says. No, I won't let you. I slip my string cheese into Mom's bag. That's cheating, Monster says. No matter, it will be gone soon and I'll be back. My shoulders slump. I can't keep standing up to this monster all by myself. At recess, I decide to talk to Mr. Abidi. Even though my stomach is full of snacks today, it still aches as I go to find him. I've never said Hunger Monster's name out loud. Even so, I have to do something for Mom and for me. Mr. Abidi is tying up the tomato plants and taking out the broken stakes, the ones I broke. As I unlatch the gate to the garden, Monster looms over me. He'll think your mom is a bad person. I almost walk away, but I can't let Hunger Monster trick me again. Ava comes up behind me and takes my hand. Lulu, today I have a joke for you. Why shouldn't you tell jokes to eggs? They might crack up. I want to smile, but I can't. I have to go talk to Mr. Abidi. Ava nods. Let me come with you. Together, we pull weeds as I talk to Mr. Abidi about the car trouble, about how Mom's getting paid soon, but not soon enough. Mr. Abidi says he's glad I talked to him. I know about a place that can help. Now my tummy feels fine. Mom and I visit a food pantry. A truck from the food bank drops off healthy food. Everything's free, and we pick what we need. Everyone helps each other, except Monster. Mom and I head home in our van, leaving Hunger Monster far behind for today. Tonight, we're cooking a yummy meal together. I'm excited to help. And next week, I'm going to help at the food pantry because Hunger Monster is strong, but so are we. And now let us sing our way out to our religious exploration groups.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
May we all have a little bit of the goodness of Ava in us. We have a special treat today, a great guest speaker, and I'd like to welcome Gary Hodek up to introduce Bob.
Thank you, John. I am Gary Hodek, longtime member here, and so pleased that we have a volunteer helper here in the neighborhood. Bob White is serving us all very faithfully and courageously and effectively. You may ask why I'm up here. Well, it's because Boulevard Place Food Pantry is really important to us. I personally get a charge out of going to the grocery store and finding bargains. And Helene tries to keep me in line and finding healthy bargains. So I am delighted to always bring things to the pantry box out there, and you might maybe notice it's full today, or nearly full. Come back next week, it's going to be empty, so we need to fill it up again. Bob will give us some insights on how the pantry operates and their special mission, and I want you to help me join in thanking Bob and all their volunteers, and you too could be a volunteer there. Thank you, Bob.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you, everyone, for letting me come here today. How do I turn it to the, there we go. There we go. There. Boulevard Place is a special work of the Indianapolis Council of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. And the mission of St. Vincent de Paul, many people would think, well, St. Vincent de Paul, it's a charitable organization, which it is, and that's all it is. But actually, there's a monitor up here. There's more to it than that. It's a network of friends inspired by gospel values, growing in holiness and building a more just world through personal relationships and service to people in need. So there's a spiritual dimension to what we're up to, okay? And that's very important. The society began in France in 1833. It arrived in the United States in roughly 1845. It's headquartered in St. Louis, which the French would have been very active at the time there. And there are 50 states, right? Well, there are 156 councils across the United States. We are a special work of the Indianapolis Council. The Indianapolis Council it parallels the geography of the Indianapolis Archdiocese. We are a separate organization, by the way, from the Archdiocese. We are a separate, St. Vincent de Paul is a 501(c)(3) made up of lay Catholics. Anyway, the Archdiocese and our boundaries run from essentially 96th Street down to the Ohio River. It does not include Evansville, and there are all kinds of special works that are available to people. If some of you may have volunteered, for example, at 30th Street Food Pantry, which is one of the biggest in the Midwest. There's a distribution center. There are pantries and thrift stores in Bedford, Bloomington. There are 2 thrift stores in Indianapolis, so we are part of that. We are located at 4202 Boulevard Place, and we're organized by 5 North Side Catholic parishes: Christ the King, which is located at Kessler and Crittenden; Immaculate Heart of Mary, which is at 57th and Central; St. Joan of Arc at 42nd and Central; St. Luke, which is at 75th and Holiday Drive, which is roughly Illinois Street, give or take; and St. Thomas Aquinas, which is at 46th and Illinois. I'm a parishioner at St. Thomas Aquinas. The pantry it dates from 1982. We started with space in the basement of the parish offices at St. Thomas, and Bob Kenny was the first director, and he was just this really nice, special kind of guy. He was just a lovely person. And we started out, they would put bags of groceries together, and occasionally somebody would show up. We gave relatively few away during the week. It was a very small operation. And as you can see, this is an old photo of what we were up to. And it was just very cramped, way too small, and the need was too great. By 2011, it was just, we had to get out of that location. There was too much going on. We get deliveries. Mark Varno has a pickup truck, and he would park on Kenwood, and then we'd get grade schooler kids to help, and you'd make this human chain of food going down into the basement and things like that. And he'd occasionally park up right next to the door, which didn't get him into the good graces of our pastor at the time, who, you're parking on my grass here. It's like, well, deal with it. He was a level, don't get me wrong, that is my favorite priest, but anyway, we did, with the help from the Polis Center, we did a geographic survey, shall we say, of who we were serving. And most of the clients in 2011 were in the zip codes 46205 and 46208. Essentially, the people to the east of Crown Hill and to the north of the fairgrounds and then to the west of Crown Hill. I mean, if you look, this, I don't know how good the graphic is, not that good. Good enough for what we're doing. The darker, you can see where the darker is, the dark red. But if you look closely, there are dots throughout Marion County. And at that time, we were focusing only on the geographic boundaries of the parishes, but we don't want to ever turn anybody away if we can avoid it, okay? So what we would do would be, we'd serve the person and then tell them about other pantries that are near their home, okay? With a lot of help from a lot of people, including the Indianapolis Council of St. Vincent de Paul, we purchased a building. Actually, we leased it with an option to purchase in 2011, 10-11, when we actually did the leasing. And it was it had been a gas station, it was a beauty shop, it was a thrift store. Some of you, if you remember driving by it, it was an empty building at the time, and when we purchased it, and we renovated it, and it was a success. And if you look, this is what's happened over between 2012 and December 2020. My memory is in 12, I think we served, say, 5,000 clients, shoppers, representing a household. By December of 2020, I think in 2020, we served something like 9,500. I mean, it was just the demand, it kept growing and kept growing to the point that we needed to renovate again. And this was our shopping area, or I'm sorry, the waiting room. And there are what, like 8 people in there? If you get 20 people in there, you know, and the problem is when it's 10 degrees outside, you don't want, we don't want to have people standing outside waiting, or when it's 100, like it was, or 95 this summer. But the space was very small. And so we decided to renovate again, and we had, there wasn't enough storage space. Food deliveries, they pull it into the parking lot, and then we offload it and then take it in. And with the help of many people, especially the Witchker family and Marion Incorporated, who were major donors for the first renovation, purchasing the building and this renovation. And this is the groundbreaking in July 2020. And one of my favorite stories is that they paid us a visit, and Mark Varno was the director. No, he was no longer the director, but he'd been director for about 25 years, and he was leading the campaign. And they asked him, well, tell us what you want to do. And so he starts describing, we'll do some of this, some of that. And one of them takes him aside and says, Mark, you're not thinking big enough. And he said he went home that night and cried. I mean, it was, And so we moved to, we had a garden. The garden is now our warehouse, essentially. We went up. I noticed parking, this is the first time I believe I've been on your grounds, which are lovely, by the way. But I noticed that you must have like 120 panels, solar panels. Yeah, we put 72 on our roof by the time we were done with the renovation. The building is as energy efficient as we could make it, and, with the heavy panel glass and all kinds of things. It's great. Insulation, the special cooler, freezer and cooler that were energy efficient. I'll do just some pictures from the right. They tore off the shell. Of course, they tore off the shell, I think it was in the fall of 19, and then, of course, what happens in 2020 is COVID hits, right? We were closed for roughly 3 weeks, give or take. We reopened April 22nd or 24th of 2020. We were very bummed that we had to close. We were thrilled we only closed for like 3 or 4 weeks. And through it all, we did the renovation as well. And the director was Cindy Brown, and she did a remarkable job. That's when we went to a drive-up. People would show up come in through the entryway. Somebody would go out there and do the intake and gather their information, and then they'd pull around, and we'd put a pop-up at the other end of the parking lot, and people would go out and just put stuff in the back of their car. We decided, I believe it was probably sometime in 22, we decided to go back to the in-store shopping. It might have been earlier than that. So today we have Wednesday drive up still. We decided to keep the drive up because we realized there are some, and I very much enjoyed that reading for the children, not just for children, by the way. That was moving. And we realized there are some people who visit the pantry who don't want to come inside because it's just more anonymous. They pull up, we put the foods, a bag, a box, and some assorted foods into their trunk or in their back seat or whatever, and off they go. And we realized that some people would prefer that. So we kept the drive up on Wednesdays from 10 to noon. Thursday, we have in-store shopping from 10 to 4 p.m. And then Saturdays, we have in-store client choice shopping from 9 to noon. And if you look, we did in April of this year, we asked the Polis Savvy group, that's what they're called, to look at our shoppers. And as you'll see that over time, was that 14 years later, essentially we're serving the same neighborhood. But the big change is there's more of them, okay? Lots more of them. Now, again, we're serving people throughout the county, but this is the concentrated area of people in need, people suffering from food insecurity. We receive food from many sources, including, Gary mentioned the card here in back. We very much, thank you again for having me. Thank you for your generosity. We do appreciate it. Last year, UUI donated 293 pounds of food. As of August 31st, it was at 235 pounds, and it's much deeply appreciated. As you'd expect, we receive food from the 5 parishes. This shows their relative. What goes on at Immaculate Heart of Mary is amazing. In St. Luke, all 5 parishes are wonderful. I don't want to accidentally, but and it's amazing what they do. Last year, the 5 parishes donated 51,000 pounds worth of food to us. Yeah. Our top suppliers are Gleaners, which we purchase. Most of the food that we get from Gleaners is purchased. They do donate some food. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul is a major donor. Second Helpings, and then USDA TFAP. TFAP, pardon me. TFAP is the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and it's USDA food. It's given to the state then gives it to Gleaners. Gleaners gives it to us. And one of the things I really like about TFAP USDA food is, as far as the government is concerned, the government owns that food until it gets into the hands of the shopper. So it's passing through us. And I kind of like that in the sense that that food is designated for a certain group of people, and they want to make sure those people get the food. Some background. Since March of 2025, we've been transitioning to no boundaries. As I said, originally the boundaries were the 5 parish boundaries. Then during the pandemic, we essentially had no boundaries, and it was too much for us. So in January of 23, if I have my date right, we went to the zip codes associated with the 5 parishes. And in March of this year, roughly 30% of the food we get is from Gleaners. Second Helpings gave us 3%. Gleaners, Gleaners donates about 5%. St. Vincent de Paul donates about 20% of our food. TFAP USDA food last year was 31% of our food. That's 212,000 pounds of food. Okay. I'll wing it. Essentially, in March, we were told that we could no longer have boundaries if we wanted to give away USDA food. Okay? And there's a certain logic to that. If you think about it, somebody on the south side of Indianapolis, many of our clients are working. somebody who lives on the south side, may be working at 42nd and Boulevard Place, but they have to drive home to get food. It's like, no. They can come to our pantry, we will serve them. So we no longer have boundaries. We thought about it very carefully, and it was just like, we could not in good conscience give up access to 212,000 pounds of food. Overall, last year we gave away around 670,000 pounds of food. So, the shoppers attest, according to there are rules, they attest to their income, and if they meet the guidelines, we serve them that food. We provide them that food. Here's the figure the last several years. You can see this is just a major source of food, and we chose to continue receiving that food. As a result, since that time, we are setting records, okay? The records are being set because there's more need in general, and we have more customers, shoppers, however, neighbors is the preferred term now. There are neighbors, and we're serving them. What has happened, in a sense, is we have a lot more neighbors than we used to, and we do our best to serve them. But this is the moving average since January, and you can see, and the dips are July 4th, we were closed Thursday and Saturday, and Labor Day, same thing. The week following Labor Day, we set a record for us with 417 shoppers. That's 417 households. If you multiply by, that's probably 1,500 to 1,600 people or something like that. Okay. So, if you're interested, there's a documentary history available about us. Here's the link. Maria should have the link as well. It can be made available if you want. This is my cat, Neptune. He hates winter, but he loves Boulevard Place. And thank you very much. I wrote in here questions, but I'll be back afterward, And we really, as I said, I see Gary when he drops off the food every now and then. We really appreciate your support, and I'm really impressed with the service and the reading, and thank you.
Thanks, Bob. And now for some special music.
Don't you ever wish you were someone else? You were meant to be the way you are exactly. Don't you ever say you don't like the way you are. When you learn to love yourself, you're better off by far. And I hope you always stay the same, 'cause there's nothing about you I would change. I think that you could be whatever you wanted to be if you could realize all the dreams you have inside. Don't be afraid if you've got something to say. Just open up your heart and let it show you the way. Don't you ever wish you were someone else? You were meant to be the way you are exactly. Don't you ever say you don't like the way you are. When you learn to love yourself, you're better off by far. And I hope you always stay the same, 'cause there's nothing about you I would change.
yourself, you come alive. The love you find will set you free. Believing in yourself, you will come alive. Have faith in what you do, you'll make it through. Whoa, whoa. Hey, don't you ever wish you were someone else. You were meant to be the way you are exactly. Don't you ever say you don't like the way you are. When you learn to love yourself, you're better off by far. And I hope you always stay the same. 'Cause there's nothing about you I would change. No, there's nothing about you I would change.
It's always great when Joey sings here. Thank you very much. As a prelude and an introduction to our offertory this morning, Susan Cassida, who is not in great voice this morning, asked me to read a little testimonial, a little reflection she wrote. And I might be the worst person to imitate my friend Susan. I could crouch down a little bit, but I'll just do it and try to be Susan. I think it was 2012 when what is now Boulevard Place Food Pantry was about to move to its current location, and then director Mark Varnu came to UUI seeking support. UUI's minister at the time passed along the request to me since I was involved with the Social Justice Committee. A small group of us met with Mark to hear about the pantry and the plans involved in their expansion. I was impressed and knew immediately that I wanted to be involved. The new pantry would be just 2 blocks from UUI. I signed up for a weekly shift helping clients who came in for food. For close to 10 years, I worked at the pantry weekly or bi-weekly, checking in clients, helping them select food and loading the groceries into their cars, restocking shelves, everything, little bit of everything. At some point, UUI member Ed Archer joined me, the late Ed Archer, unfortunately. He had roped me into math tutoring, so it was fair that he agreed to come to the pantry. And if you knew Ed, you wouldn't be surprised to hear that he broke some rules, like giving clients rides home because they couldn't manage their bags on foot. During COVID, when UUI services were Zoom only, my husband Matt and I collected food donations in the parking lot. I think a lot of us who've been here since then can remember the open end of their car collecting food in our parking lot. Sometimes we shared coffee and muffins, and it turned into a safe and popular outdoor visiting time during that pandemic. Donations during that time were tremendous, completely filling my SUV. Recently, I have just been a substitute shift volunteer, and I can tell you that the folks at Boulevard Place continue to do good work and important work that UUI can be proud to support. Every week, an amazing amount of food passes through that pantry building and into the homes of folks who need it, neighbors who need it. I hope we can continue and even step up our efforts to fill the collection box in the social hall, to generously share our plate offerings once a year, and to provide some volunteers to play our part in this important ministry for our neighbors. And now, it is the time for our offering. Every month, UUI gives half of the Sunday collection to a cause chosen by our Social Justice Committee. For 1 month, we give it to Boulevard Place, but this month, we are donating to Faith in Action Ministry. October's Share the Plate is the Church of the Larger Fellowship, CLF. The CLF is a Unitarian Universalist congregation without walls, reaching people all around the world through online worship, small groups, publications, and ministries of care. One of their most vital ministries is Worthy Now, serving nearly 2,000 UUI members experiencing incarceration. Through shared worship, newsletters, community support, Worthy Now helps incarcerated UUs connect with their faith and with each other. The CLF also nurtures Unitarian Universalists everywhere who long for connection beyond bricks and mortar congregations. Your gift today supports this sacred work, helping the CLF grow and sustain ministries that reach those too often forgotten and reminding us that what we focus on grows. To give using your smartphone, text the dollar amount and the word share to the phone number in the chat and in your bulletin, or visit uui.org. Here in the sanctuary, ushers will come around to collect donations. The offering will now be gratefully received. May it be joyfully given. Thank you so much for your generosity. Our closing words today are from UU Minister Reverend Sherry Woodbury. Let us continue to grow as citizens of our communities, our nation, and our world. Let us work to build the common good for ourselves and the generations to come. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We'll be doing this as a round, once through everyone together, and then we'll divide the room and do 1 and 2.
Come, come,
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words, which are on the screen, or there they go. Now we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep these with us until we meet again. Go now in peace.